Developers, No Man's Sky Beyond, PS4 Normal mode. Back here at my base, I had a maiden flight this morning on the new Beyond system, rolled out by Hello Games this morning, August 14, 2019. So I'm inside the base right now. Lots of problems, unfortunately. The quality control before the rollout really missed the boat. I'm going to show you some on this video, not because I enjoy it, because Sean Murray obviously didn't do his job, and it all falls on him. The question is, will he take responsibility and fix these problems? So we'll start with bases, since that's where I started this morning. I took several hours off to do some work and think about it, and then afterwards I played another friend's game where I was trying to get him a S-class explorer ship similar to the one I have, except more beautiful in green, and some real problems there. I'll get to those in a minute, but when I came here this morning, let's get right to it. I read a post quoting Sean Murray saying that he recognized all of our hard work and wasn't going to do a reset and destroy all of that work. And I believe there was a mention of bases. Okay, this is my last base built within the past week. First time I did it in wood. It's dark right now, you can't see it super clearly, but it's a 3-level base. For me, a great build. I don't do any glitching. I'm not a fancy guy like that JC Hysteria person, who, by the way, does not use landing pads in 2 of his bases that I've seen. The Traveler's Monument and something called Serenity. I'm not sure where that is. I asked him for the location. He never responded. I believe he may be a senior programmer at Hello Games, and he fashions himself an expert on bases. So anyway, this hole right here in my build was a landing pad taken away, which if you watch the prior video from this morning, you'll see when I noticed it, I was pretty calm about the whole thing, but not happy. This right here, this was a stairway to another landing pad with a doorway into the base. It's gone. I spent a minute or so trying to negotiate the new build menu, which I find to be unbelievably difficult. I didn't have any problems with the other build menu. Now, for some reason, some programmer over there at Hello Games thought he would make everything different and more difficult to use, as far as I can tell. Now, if you're brand new to No Man's Sky, you may not notice it, because that's all you'll ever know. But for those of us that have been playing for a couple of years, it's really remarkable that such a change would be made. This here, where my starfighter is sitting, this is the new and only type of launch pad or landing pad that you're able to build. It's a massive thing, and fortunately I was able to place it right here next to my base. It took some time because I wasn't familiar with its size and scope and everything, but it's there now, so I can land my one ship. I always had 2 landing pads, and all my bases will now apparently have 2 holes in them. I have 15 or 16, something like that. See that ship up there? If I had a second landing pad, that ship would land. And it used to be fun to have a ship land. So I got to go back and figure out where I'm going to put a second landing pad. Now, I did send some tweets over to Sean Murray, good old Hello Games, making a suggestion that they just simply re-add back the original landing pad with the door attached, and that's what was here. And they could just put them all back. Do it quickly, get it done, and I think a lot of people will be happy if they built bases like this. All right, so The other thing that's interesting is you have to have a power source. I learned when I wanted to teleport. This is what you see when you have a teleporter: insufficient power. Okay, so let's see if I can get it to come up. Here it is. Learn the biofuel reactor down on the lower right. Learn base modules at a construction research unit. Deploy the unit. Okay, so that's what I need to do, and I actually did it earlier. Didn't do me much good, but here, I'll show you what I see for this. Let's see if I can negotiate this. I think it's under tech. Storage specialist. You got to use the arrows. That's why I jumped up there. Terminals. There's construction terminal. Okay, let's see if it'll allow me to build it. Got to remember how to do it. Oh, I should have turned it around because now the guy's sitting on the wrong side. So let me see if I can start over. Pardon my inability to properly negotiate this quickly. Now, it looks like it's facing the right way. Okay. Oh, I was too close, probably. Okay, let's try it now. There he is. There's my friend. I finished construction a long time ago, and so here's my Gek friend who usually says the same thing. Let's see if he says it again. You taunt me each time you enter and leave this home of ours. You see the world, and all I see is a world of glass. Okay, grant me some small comfort, traveler. Collect images, which I've done in the past. And so, accept or decline. I did accept this morning. It got me nowhere. Let's try decline. Let's see what it does. Okay, powering the base. It tells me that same message. So what do I have to do? I press it again. I'm bound to this place. Grant me the joy of seeing the world through your lens. Okay, so obviously you have to accept that. I've already taken the liberty of loading the image requirements to your multi-tool. Okay, take care. In other words, get out of here. I'm not going to help you with the power source. Now, is that the way it should work? I can't teleport from my base anymore? All 15, 16 of them? I don't think so. But maybe Sean Murray and Halo Games thinks that's the way it's supposed to happen. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. What else have I learned? Well, I just tell you this. The first time I took off from here, because I couldn't teleport, I went over to one of those two blue markers, which are my markers for trading post, and on approach, the game froze. So less than 20 minutes into the game, it froze. PS4 Normal mode, been around for the longest period of time. Maybe it just didn't get any attention by the programmers. They may have decided we're not going to invest anything in this. They certainly didn't do a very good job. Okay, now let's get to the big ones. These have to do with the freighters. Remember that friend I told you about? I was helping him try to get a S-Class Galactic Explorer. Helped him find one yesterday in his system. And was working to try to get an S-Class. He has an A3712 right now. It's the same as my Galactic Explorer. If you look at my videos, you'll see it. A couple of them have pictures of it. Mine isn't as cool as his. His is like a mint green with purple highlights. Really cool. So I go over, get on his freighter, and I decided to check out what his freighter was like, because I learned a little bit about freighters this morning too. Check your freighter out and see if you have a trade terminal on your freighter. See if your trade terminal is now not showing on the wall where you put it, but rather is down by the floor with just a little bit of it showing. There's enough there that you can actually activate it, so it does work. But which one of the programmers missed that problem? Where was the quality control? Well, there wasn't any, obviously. Now, I wonder, I'm just a regular guy. I'm not some software programmer or anything. But I did notice when I was going up to the command area from the freighter, or on the freighter, I should say, that they've added a new right or left turn, and then it goes up further. And so I'm wondering if maybe they've increased the height of the freighter buildable area, possibly, and that's what's causing this problem, having your trade terminals down, almost hidden down at the floor. Possibly, who knows? But I would have thought somebody would find that, because it happened in my game, which we're on right now live, and it happened on my friend's game. Same thing. I did go back to see. I was kind of wondering. I didn't build out the farms for the fifth or sixth time on my current S-Class freighter. I was waiting to see. I might get a different one. Who knows? And but my friend, he has his farms all built out, and they're really nice. He's got extensive amount of plants and so forth. And they're all okay, it looks like. You can't access the trays, the hyponic trays. I couldn't get that particular option to show up, but you can harvest the materials. My concern is they might be below 4 level, but no, they were all okay. All right. Now the freighter gets even better. This is the real problem, and where the warning comes in for people. So I hop in his nice Galactic Explorer, mint green with purple highlights, and I'm going to fly over to the space station and see if I can finish what I started yesterday to get the S-Class. I take off. I'm in at the back of the bay, so when you fly in, it goes all the way to the back. That's the space I'm in. It pops up when it's going to take off, and you can tell it's up above the roof level. So it's flying, and as it hits the bay door out of the freighter, it crashes. It swirls around. You know, you can press a button, try to make it go fast or right or left or anything. It's not going to give up. In other words, it's crashing. And so, of course, it kills you. And where do you end up? You end up over at the space station, if you've ever had a problem like this or something similar before. So you're over at the space station there, and it tells you you died and so forth. So what do? You get in the ship, and of course something was damaged, which is not a big deal. But you got to fly back over to the freighter, which fortunately was right there. And so flew over to that, and right at the entrance to the 3 bays of the freighter, there sits the icon with all of your things from your starship that have been lost because the starship crashed. So you fly in, it picks up those items, and where does it land? It lands in the front slot, the first one as you go in. Now, I've had this happen before. It's been quite some time, and I knew this could be a problem when you exit the ship. So sure enough, I hit the exit button to get out of that Galactic Explorer, not planning to fly it anymore until good old Hello Games and No Man's Sky Beyond fixes that bug. What happens? I start free falling and basically am in space because it exits me outside of the hangar bay. Now, I'm not on the third person mode or anything. I'm in a first person mode where basically you should jump out right next to the ship. Okay? That's where you're supposed to jump out normally. But it put me out in space. And then the interesting thing, it was kind of fun, it allowed me to walk on the ship. So I could walk on the outside of the freighter, I should say. Walked on the outside of the freighter for a couple, 3 minutes, and I could see everything inside. It was like all the walls were opaque, or you could see through them, right? And so I'm looking at the farms and looking at all the things that have been built on this friend of mine on his freighter, and you can even see the bridge up in front. So I walk out there, and you can't ever go down. It won't let you go into any of those spaces. I was thinking, well, maybe I'll get lucky. Nope, no luck. And then when you get to the bridge area, it stops you at the spot where you're on the opposite side from the commander or the captain or the admiral that's running the freighter. And you can't go any farther. So ultimately, I had to just basically fall into space and die again. So it takes you back over to the space station, and it does the same thing again. Then you got to fly back and pick up your grave on the way into the freighter. And so that happens, but does it put it back in your exosuit? Nope. It puts it in the starship. So my friend lost a bunch of his items because it says inventory full. I mean, this is wonderful. If you played No Man's Sky, I mean, it's so incredible that they would allow this to be rolled out as their greatest update of the game. Totally phenomenal to me. So what did I do? Well, I couldn't do much. I knew if I jumped out of the ship again, I'd likely end up in space. So I couldn't reload the game because it already saved over the original start, like when I was originally standing next to the ship. So fortunately, this morning while I was waiting for the download of the Beyond update, I was looking around to see if maybe what else I could find. I've never really looked for friends or anything else, but they had this thing highlighting certain people, and so I ended up picking a guy named Mac Foraday because he had a video, and I watched that video. It was around 10 minutes, and he called it a public service announcement, and it actually was quite good. It recommended that people back up their game from Next before they begin, so that they can have that just in case of a catastrophic failure. Okay. Well, I don't know. Dying in space? Yeah. Not being able to get out of the trap? That could be a catastrophic failure. So I did that. I had already saved them, but given the issues with the cloud and so forth, and these automatic updates and all that, watch Mac Faraday's video. You might find it instructive. It may be too late for you to do this, what he was suggesting. But I made the flash drives with the backups of the games. So all I did at that point, closed the application of my friend's game, went to the flash drive, plugged it in, then went to settings, found the proper application save data item, downloaded that last next file onto the system, and was able to fire it up again. Guess what? Won't be getting into the Galactic Explorer, won't be able to try to find the S-Class because we have a problem. It won't exit the freighter bay. So please, Hello Games, fix that one. Fix the base. Fix the construction terminal so that we can actually get the power source so we can use our teleporters. a lot of us have spent a lot of time on these bases, and we have them all over the galaxy, the Euclid galaxy for me, and we'd like to use them. You know, is that really too much to ask? So that's what I have for now. You know, still going to try to enjoy this game. It's going to be a challenge because you can't trust the game to work correctly, unfortunately, with this type of level of problems and so forth. And we'll see, but I rather doubt that Sean Murray and his team are going to take responsibility. If they had, these problems wouldn't be here, the ones that I've described. And really sorry to see it because it's a great game. It really is a fantastic game, a lot of fun, and I just hope they get it fixed quickly and make it extra nice for those of us that just wanted to play this section here. I'd be crazy to go to VR at this point. I mean, holy cow, that's new. They can't even get the old stuff right. So fix it, Mr. Murray. I'm going to send you a tweet about this video. Have somebody look at it if you're too busy. I'm sure you probably are. You got to count those millions, right? All right, K1 signing off. Have a great day, everyone.